Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, April 28th. Much colder than normal air currently exists across the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic region, the northeastern part of the nation, and the same weather pattern that has brought multiple cold air outbreaks into the central and eastern U.S. over the past few weeks will continue for at least another week or two, and with it, with the continuation of the cold air outbreaks will come some additional severe weather outbreaks. We've talked extensively about the clash of air masses between the cold, dry air coming in from the north and west and the warmer and humid air coming out of the Gulf of Mexico into the middle part of the nation, Mississippi Valley, Ohio Valley. We will have a severe weather threat on Friday into Saturday across the heartland here. We'll talk about that in a moment. As far as the current cold temperatures are concerned, it's near record lows in many parts of the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S., and we'll have another night tonight with similar situation with many overnight lows that are near or at record low values here by tomorrow morning. Watch out for some patchy frost, suburban areas north and west of the big cities along the I-95 corridor region. This particular map comes from coolweather.com, COOLWX.com, and all of these represent record or near record lows cutting across the Great Lakes into the Mid-Atlantic region, and I expect kind of a repeat performance tomorrow morning. We're here at the end of the month of April, and this is unusually cold for this time of the year, and you have to watch out for any kind of sensitive vegetation if you're of course across rural areas in the Mid-Atlantic region, the Northeast U.S., but even the suburbs just to the north and west of the big cities late tonight, early tomorrow, I have a chance for some patchy frost, temperatures down in the low to mid 30s, for example, for overnight lows in north and west of D.C., north and west of Philly, New York City. And again, watch out for some patchy frost. It turns a little bit milder on Friday, and then the weekend is shaping up to be decent, with the next threat of showers likely coming Sunday night and Monday for the northeastern part of the nation. Well, with the continuation of those cold air masses from Canada into the U.S., we have a continuation of severe weather outbreaks, or at least the potential for some severe weather. Looks like from later tomorrow night into the day on Saturday, it'll be most probable across the heartland, right across the middle part of the nation here. This is an enhanced probability put out there in a forecast by the NOAA Storm Prediction Center for later tomorrow into tomorrow night. Enhanced chance of severe weather. Again, basically right in the middle part of the nation later tomorrow into the day on Saturday. There will be a threat of some severe weather. We'll take a look at the surface maps in a moment, as well as the 500 millibar field, which the Vorticity field looks very impressive in terms of its active pattern for the next, not only the next couple of days, but really for the next couple of weeks. We continue to have these cold air masses dropping in from the north and west. At the same time, warm and humid air pumps out of the Gulf of Mexico northward into the Mississippi Valley, the middle part of the nation. And tomorrow, this is the clash zone, the clash between those air masses with cold, dry air to the north and west, warm and humid air to the south and east. Well, let's go through last night's 060 run of the operational version of the GFS. What we're showing here, the 500 millibar vorticity fields. These are kind of areas of rotation or areas of spin in the upper part, the mid and upper parts of the atmosphere, and they tend to lead to upward motion down near the surface level. So we look at Vorticity Maxima area to determine where there may be some clouds and precipitation that, of course, can impact people on the ground in the lowest part of the troposphere. Well, we have a lot of Vorticity Maxima on the map here, starting off today. First of all, one off of the coast of Maine, another one in the middle of the country, and yet another one now moving in from off the Pacific Ocean into the western U.S. And watch what happens on Friday. That system out west drives to the east, and come Friday afternoon we'll have a very healthy looking wave of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere pulling out of the Rockies right in the middle part of the nation. That will contribute to the severe weather possibility and a strong storm right in the middle part of the nation later tomorrow into tomorrow night. And as we move forward here, that pretty much pushes to the north and east. Some ridging pops up over the eastern part of the nation for the weekend. In other words, a decent weather pattern shaping up for the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. for Saturday and Sunday. This system moves into the southern part of Canada, but right on its heels, another wave of energy as we begin the early part of next week, diving all the way down to the south, and on its heels, another system here diving into the middle part of the nation by the middle of next week. We're now a week away from now into the middle part of next week, so a continuation of a lot of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere, continuation of cold air outbreaks making their way from Canada into the U.S., and that all suggests a continuation of severe weather threats for the next week or two. Well, in terms of the temperature pattern, here's where we begin the day here on Thursday with very cold air for this time of the year, currently in existence across the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S. We saw a moment ago from the map at coolweather.com, many near record lows this morning, and I believe there will be a repeat performance tomorrow morning, as this will stick around for another 24 hours or so. Here we are Friday morning, still hanging on to well below normal temperatures down across the Mid-Atlantic region, much of the eastern third of the nation. But look, tomorrow morning, warmer than normal air starting to show up here in the middle part of the nation. At the same time, we have colder than normal air pushing in from the north and west, from the Rockies into the middle part of the nation. Here is your clash zone tomorrow night and early Saturday, and this is the area on Friday night into Saturday. Could be a possibility of some severe thunderstorms, so watch out for that. Again, as long as cold air drops in from Canada south and east into the U.S., we'll have a continuation of an active weather pattern. Here we are by next Monday. We are not done with cold air outbreaks into the eastern part of the nation. Let's move forward after warmer conditions Monday and Tuesday of next week. Look at what develops here by the time we get to the second half of next week. We're now a week away from today, and late Thursday of next week, cold air extends, colder than normal air extends from southeastern Canada across the Great Lakes into the heartland, and that just slides right into the eastern states. And by the time we get to the end of next week, we're still looking at below normal temperatures extending across a large part of the nation, from the Great Plains all the way to the East Coast, and even some colder than normal conditions out across California and parts of the western U.S. Again, we're out 8 or 9 days from now, all the way out to the end of next week. No end yet in this active weather pattern, with a lot of Vorticity Maxima in the upper part of the atmosphere and a lot of cold air outbreaks yet to go through in the U.S. Well, let's take a look at the surface forecast maps, and we start off here with high pressure over the Great Lakes, the southeastern part of Canada. Winds blow clockwise around highs, and that is resulting in a strong north to northwest flow of air from eastern Canada into the northeastern part of the nation. Temperatures confined to the 50s for highs today in places like Philadelphia and New York City, where it should be closer to 70 degrees this afternoon. Way below normal for this time of the year. Again, some near record lows this morning. Expect a repeat performance tomorrow morning with some near record lows in the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast U.S. And again, watch out for sensitive vegetation, the possibility of late night patchy frost. Winds will tend to die down later on tonight, and that could set the stage for some patchy frost late tonight, early tomorrow. That was not the case last night. The winds held up all night long. There were some clouds, so we did not have frost in the Mid-Atlantic region. That, unfortunately, is a threat late tonight, early tomorrow. Watch out for sensitive vegetation. Now, let's move forward on Friday. Here we are Thursday evening, now into the day on Friday, and winds blow counterclockwise around low. So here we have a strong low pressure starting to set up midday on Friday. Cold northwest flow of air to the north and west in the cold sector will produce some accumulating snow across the northern Rockies, those higher elevation locations still to receive some accumulating snow. Meanwhile, in the warm sector, look at this flow of air right out of the Gulf of Mexico into the Mississippi Valley, into the Great Plains. So you have this cold air wrapping around the northwest side of this low, this intensifying low, and warm, increasingly humid air off to its south and east, and hence severe weather possibility later tomorrow into tomorrow night. Here we are overnight tomorrow night into early Saturday. A pretty strong low, 992 millibar low slowly moves to the north and east. A lot of winds across the northern plains, the central plains associated with this system. This is the beginning part of the weekend. Cold air hangs on in the northeast until the weekend. Then it turns a little bit milder, looking like a pretty decent weekend for Philly, New York, Boston, D.C. area. Here we are now by Sunday morning. That strong system slowly pulls to the north and east. Kind of a lousy setup for the Great Lakes for this upcoming weekend, and still some snow across some of the northern plains. The Dakotas, for example, have been hit by multiple snow events over the past few weeks. Not done yet. Then we move forward here, and again, we still have an active pattern, another system to watch for by the middle part of next week. This is next Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, another strong system here, and we saw a moment ago continuation of cold air pumping in from the north and west. In other words, this can turn out to be another severe weather threat, let's say next Tuesday, Wednesday time frame in the middle part of the nation, and right on its heels yet another system to be concerned with later on next week. So a continuation of an active weather pattern with additional cold air outbreaks making their way from Canada into the U.S. A severe weather threat later tomorrow night into Saturday, places like the Mississippi Valley and throughout the Great Plains, all the way from the southern plains to the central plains and all the way to the northern plains. Again, later tomorrow night into the day on Saturday. Watch out for possible near record lows tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, mid-Atlantic, northeastern part of the nation. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.